Mhm.
You can hear this. You are not alone. This is the resistance.
Go for it, Grandmaster Evan.
Okay. Now?
Yes, now.
Hello.
Evan, that's all, folks.
Show's over, man. 3 hours later.
Hi, if you're the resistance, you're watching this, you are the resistance. This is Joe here, and we got Tin Man, we got Curse Wolf, we got Genevieve, and we got Josh.
Yep. Everybody remembers Josh from the Wrestling versus Activism video. Our most lively participant.
And right now, John Connor is not here for the moment. He is sharing a video with somebody. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's dealing with some R5 business. We'll leave it at that.
All right.
So what is our topic tonight, gentlemen?
Each of us are going to pick up a stone and throw it at a wing of the government.
This is going to be interesting. I'm just going to let you guys go with it.
Well,
I'm just here because I'm the boss.
I don't know if it's so much blame on the government. Everyone seems to want to blame one side or the other, depending on who they support.
I say the people behind the curtain are the ones to blame.
Oh, absolutely.
We lost.
Yes, the puppet masters.
We lost
Are we losing
Grandmaster
people
Revan
left,
now.
right?
What the hell? Hey.
These are the issues with live radio.
He apparently missed the cue of the cue.
Apparently. Connection dropped. I will call him again, but we'll carry on. Because you guys were having an interesting conversation, Josh and Kurtz. You guys were having a very interesting conversation earlier on the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Holy footage, man.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed reading that all day. I mean, I'm traveling across town and I'm reading this shit. I'm just cracking the fuck up.
Holy shit.
You guys kept me warm in this 20-degree weather.
Exactly.
Guys.
Oh, you're lucky. I got 3.
You got 3-degree weather? Shit!
Yeah.
You ain't getting me up there. I'm cold enough here in Tennessee. I'm freezing my freaking nuts off.
Oh, see, poor me. I got that Cali weather.
Yeah, my grandma was telling me that you guys are like in the 90s right now.
Can we hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so basically, what we felt, well, not we, the basic citizens that don't wish to open their eyes to the truth, basically they don't realize that the left and right wing are technically the same party, which should be common knowledge, but isn't.
Yeah.
Well, so go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just nodding in agreement.
That was
what I was going to say is that it's kind of a scary analogy, especially with how simple it really is. You know, I'm sure everyone here on this conversation has seen Star Wars.
Yes.
Where it's a big drawn-out story of how one higher power plays two factions like puppets, while the people pick sides and go to war against each other. All the power goes back to that one source.
You're talking about post-Clone Wars.
The whole thing. From the very beginning, actually.
Exactly.
Everything, if you know anything about the books and everything, it's all a big build-up. It's all a big plot. It's all about slow manipulation of little things that accumulate. And that's exactly what we've seen our government do for years.
Yeah.
If you even go back as far as civil rights era, this is a legitimate concern for people. They're fighting for something.
Yeah, stop falling off the wagon.
I'm back.
Yeah. Next time we're just gonna keep on rolling and run your ass over. Stay
Yeah,
on
right.
the wagon.
Keep
Now I
it
think
through
it's
here, though.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's been a build-up where one side builds off the other for years. Even going, like, look at the things that Reagan put in place that were senior than used to do his most corrupted acts. Then you had Clinton build off him. We got Bush Jr. build off him. For example, when we had 9/11, Bush Jr. created the National Security Agency,
Yeah.
and he also put into place the Homeland Security Act.
Yeah.
I might have the name wrong, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And-
the additional security measures, trade your
Yeah,
freedoms
basically
for
gave them the
so-called
right
security.
to CIA type invasion of privacy. It gave them that power. Well, Obama used that to exercise that. People think it's Democrat versus Republican, but they just build off each other until we as people lose our rights.
Yep. It's a gradual buildup. You just can't
Sure has been.
take it all away all at once. It has to be incremental.
Well, anything done too suddenly always causes a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Whereas if they can be slow manipulations, then people slowly, gradually become used to the idea. It's kind of the same principle. If you stick your hand in boiling water, you're going to yank your hand out in pain.
We only learn once.
Yeah, but if you stick your hand in and the water's slow, made hotter, you can withstand it for a lot longer.
I'm listening. I was telling Grandmaster Evan to restart his computer.
Oh, it's no worries. I'm waiting for someone else to weigh in.
Well, I mean, you're pretty much right on that point. It is incrementalism, because they can't just take every single right away and execute their operation overnight. It has to be inch by inch, crumb by crumb. You can't just take the whole piece of bread. You got to take it crumb by crumb by crumb by crumb, so that nobody notices. And by the time somebody does notice, it's too late, because the game's already gone.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that they're holding the loop.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there throwing a pluck of bread. Maybe it used to be every 10 years. Or every 20. Then it went to every 10 years. Then it's every 8 years. And every 5 years. And now it's about every 2 years. That, exactly as Tim has said, it's incremental.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, technically, we have lost all of our rights. About 30 years ago, whenever one person could not work a 40-hour week and maintain a 5-person household, that is when we lost every right.
Not necessarily lost every right, I think, but definitely became enslaved and ensnared in the system.
Well, you have to look at the way that they started off with economics, the whole trickle-down effect. And you got to realize the first way you can subjugate people is to limit the wealth, limit their ability to advance themselves until desperation is the national. Once you have that, you have them desperate for any answer to fix it. And that's where the propaganda comes in.
Yeah.
You've got, just look at the way it is right now. If we use just the left-wing type actions, you've got shows like Family Guy, Colbert Show, American Dad, even as far back as Roseanne, pushing the idea that anyone who's a Christian Republican is automatically a Nazi or closed-minded, fear-mongering. And those are everyday shows that even children watch.
Yeah.
As they call all their opponents Nazis, they push this propaganda for years, even going as far back as the 80s.
Yeah.
Probably
It's
before
nothing new.
that. Well, but people become so numb to that kind of propaganda and so willing to just kind of roll with it. Nobody even now questions the same people calling everyone else Nazis is putting out direct anti-Semitic propaganda.
Yeah.
Never going to stop questioning. Because they've been slowly acclimated to the idea that everyone else is wrong. The question that makes you this labeled evil thing. They no longer have to know you as a person.
Yeah.
They can just say, you're a Nazi, you're a white supremacist, and now it is okay to not only hate you, physically attack you, because you dare disagree with them.
Yep. Because you dare to have a difference of opinion than myself.
Yeah, but don't get the wrong idea. The right's no better.
Oh, absolutely not. Like I've always said, it's just two wings to the same bird. You know, we all get caught up, you know, regardless of whether we subscribe to the quote left or the quote right. Both quote sides get caught up in the same bullshit. I mean, the left's got NAFTA, Black Lives Matter. The right's now got the KKK, which, if I'm correct, was made by the Democratic Party.
Yes.
I still think that one's funny as hell. Is someone talking? Because it just went totally dead on my end.
Speak.
Okay,
I hear you.
okay. Yeah, it just went totally silent, so I'm like, oh shit, dead air. Uncomfortable feeling.
No, just hold on. I'll let you know when it's done.
But you're right of that right. You realize that it is just an illusion, such as voting.
Mm-hmm. When you look at how many things you have a license for, an ID for, that are just supposed to be your basic common rights. And the things that are supposed to make the decisions in this country seem to be taken so lightly that they don't even require ID.
There it is. Does that work for you, Tim?
Yeah, it was actually something that I was doing because I had Josh's camera locked on, and I didn't switch over to you because there's no sound. I don't hear you.
You've got a lot of feedback in the background.
Oh yeah.
Let me unpush the button.
Okay. And we have Genevieve here, sitting here, eating a candy cane,
better.
very, very nonchalantly.
I'm sucking on the candy cane. There's a difference.
Well,
Letting it go! I'm letting it go!
going back to the two sides having their own propaganda, just as much as the left uses, Nazi, white supremacists, and hate monger, bigot, sexist, all that, the right has their own. When they call you a terrorist,
Yeah.
When they call you an American, a communist, flag burner, there's even a generation that thought the word hippie was a good insult.
Yeah.
So it's not like they even use different tactics. It really seems, and it's just my point of view, that whatever side has the most support as far as numbers, voting numbers, tend to become the most militant in their action. We saw the right do it when they had the biggest vote and the control. We saw it in the police. We saw it in the beatings of homosexuals. We saw it in, I believe the kid's name was like,
I'm back.
he was a young man in Texas. I can't remember his name right now, but he was homosexual, and these two guys beat him just for that. And that was the kind of environment we got with the militant right.
Yeah.
So as far as the two sides being the same thing, we can see him use the same tactics. We can see him pretty much any side that has the most numbers is allowed to be the most militant until a generation can see through it and they switch. Just like when you saw in the 80s the right having a huge influence, the kids started seeing more from the left, and the numbers switched.
Yeah.
In pensions. But, I mean, as you can see now, what happens once that became the majority, we have groups like Antifa, which is 90% led by educators, people who work in the education field. These are the people in charge of our youth and their minds.
Yep.
But we really didn't see much different on the other side. And when you know that there's essentially 5 families that are the richest in the world, including the Rothschilds, including the Bushes, who can actually be traced back. George Bush Jr. is the great-grandson of Franklin Roy Pierce, I believe is his name, one of the first great disgraces of our presidencies. So bad his own party didn't want to re-elect him. So it's, in my opinion, a dynasty act.
Yeah.
That technically, if you happen to get into a place of power, whether it be left brain, right brain, Democratic, whatever, if you happen to step upon that, you wind up to find the strings that lead to the puppet master. And technically, if you don't agree with the puppet master, they won't fire you. They will make you quit.
Yeah,
In
JFK
just
is quite literal.
So basically, that's another thing that it is one-sided, because there is something over all the government.
Yeah.
Well, eventually money has no real political allegiance except to itself. And when you've got 5 families that have enough money to control the world, you look at the case of England. They have a queen, princes, an entire monarchy that really is just a figurehead.
Yeah.
You know, so our president's really not any different. And when you see JFK, you can find him online. He's got a famous speech. He pretty much calls out the movement. He was going to give the major speech to the networks and let it be aired around the country right after he got back from his trip. So he never made it back to Dallas.
You're talking about that signing that he was supposed to do for the reason why he got shot.
Not by itself. He also had issues with Marilyn Monroe, telling her a bunch of stuff. He wouldn't stop seeing her. He was going to do everything because he thought he was the president. And honestly, I think Bill Clinton got a very similar treatment. Only he was much easier to disgrace than take out. JFK was too much of a moral figure.
I need to read my prayers. I will be back.
Okay.
I think that's why Obama did so well as a senator, but once he became president, a lot of the way he was changed as a politician. Because I think he went in thinking he was going to be able to affect real change and was shown the reality of things.
Genevieve says she got bumped again. Loving it.
Mine said my messenger stopped, but I'm still connected to you guys, so.
Yeah, I can hear you, I just can't see you.
Well, yeah, that's all right.
I wonder what the deal is. You know, maybe there's a bug in their system or something.
Highly possible. Might just be that there's so many different devices from different makes. Like I'm on a cell phone, others on computers. Might just be a communication error.
Yeah, it is entirely possible. I mean, we do this quite often. And this is the first time we've met. Huh?
It says they're trying to silence you.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. We've been running our mouths for far too long. I mean, shit, I've been doing this since before you met me.
Well, Zuckerberg has very much been a left-wing supporter, and if they don't like what you're saying, they'll shut you down.
Oh yeah, it is very much conform to an ideology or be silenced.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very fascist system in place.
Well, you can train
Big time, big
from
time.
high school. As soon as you start learning classes like government economics, that's a good example. You're taught little bits of history and little bits out of the country where it's just enough to get you through, but not enough to understand how it really works.
Yeah.
Then you've got history classes that teach you very specific issues from one-sided points of views to create opinions for the future. For instance, how many of us in high school learned all about slavery in America?
Yep.
No. But how many of you learned about the Barbary slave trade that was in Africa?
I mean, we know about it, but it's not taught in high school. That's for damn sure.
No, it's something you either look up on your own or you find out about it in a more advanced history class in college or something like that. But by then, you've already had, 4+ years of being told about how one race of people is actually evil. Now, as an adult, they want you to subscribe to every form of racism. Every statue is racist. A tree is racist. It's all a matter of planting the seed and knowing when to cultivate.
Yep.
Because in the same way we've had, since the PC movement in the 80s began, we've had schools teach more about the atrocities that happened during the Civil War and through the Native Americans, and which I am Native. I am Cherokee Mexican. So I came up to be really interested in this stuff. But now you can find out more about slavery in America, but only select things. You don't hear that the first slave owner was a black man from Africa, that his slave was black, and that he actually used our courts to sue to maintain his property rather than letting the man go free. They don't tell you that part.
Nope. They don't tell you any of that. Just like they don't tell you the truth about the details of World War II and the Holocaust. I mean, there's a lot of details that people aren't taught because it doesn't fit the official narrative. Yeah, what Adolf Hitler did was bad. A lot of innocent people died. But you don't hear about the aspect that... And I think we lost Josh again. But like I was saying...
You got booted.
I think he did. Josh's connection dropped. I'll ring him back in. This is like a roll of the dice. Who's going to get dropped off next? This is fucking hilarious. We'll just call this video Facebook attempting to censor the masses.
Let's make a wager.
Huh?
Like a wager. I got $1.
Are you talking about for when the Queen dies?
Well, no. Okay, I'll put it next.
It says Josh is in another call. Josh, if you can hear me, disconnect and we'll reconnect you. Ring-a-ding-ding. This is like so fucking weird. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wonder why I'm an alcoholic. No, you got booted, Josh. I'm trying to get you back in. Josh, no answer. Ring again. Bring it back. And here he is. Got you back.
He's back. He's
All
back.
right.
Alright, like I was saying, not a lot of people know about the aspects that the Muslims actually sided with Germany. You know, everybody assumes that it was this whole big premise of, oh, Adolf Hitler wanted a purely Caucasian, blonde hair, blue eye society, but yet didn't. History never talks about the aspect that the Muslims supported and even helped out Germany and praised Adolf Hitler.
Well, people always want to call it a religion of peace, but then they're real quick to forget about the Moorish sacking of Italy.
Yeah.
And I don't know when I got cut off or how much you heard, but going back to the Barbary slave trade, you'll hear more about slavery in America for 400 years. But the Barbary slave trade went from the 16th to the 19th century.
Yeah.
It's not even mentioned. And it's because, in the same way that in the 50s they used racism and justification of why these people are the enemy to whip all these likely racist hatred who were ready to create violence at the drop of a hat. And it wasn't until the youth started making questions, started looking at things for themselves, and said, no, we're not going to agree with this ideology. And that's when you had the 50s, 60s happen and the big so-called party switch.
Yeah.
Which even the man who did it said it was just a way to get votes for the next 200 years. And his language is a little more colorful, but I won't repeat it. But once they see the big switch, and they see that even the people that they wanted to be racist as hell in white America were refusing that kind of hate ideology, they just switched sides. They picked a new group to manipulate, and they started pointing out all the stuff that they should be mad about and feel in a justification of anger, and which, granted, I'm not saying it's not evil. I'm saying history, we learn from it, we don't repeat it. And instead, they're now creating victims in telling these people, here's a history for you to be angry about. And all they've done is create a new form of racism to the point where we've got kids kidnapping handicapped kids because of the color of their skin. And a judge is afraid to prosecute or call it a hate crime. Then you've got these groups that are supposed to be the anti-fascists that are violent against anyone who has a different voice. The very idea of fascism.
Yeah.
And it all starts with a simple idea. Here's the unjust actions of the other side. That's where it all starts, right there. And once enough people, which we're already seeing these things, when you see the videos of the young African-American kids who refuse to be racist, who refuse to fall for the anger, and there's videos here and there of them.
Yeah, and then they get called Uncle Toms and traitors and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, well, but that's no different from the 50s when if you weren't a racist with black people, you were I believe the term was an N-word lover.
Yeah.
To keep it PC.
Yeah.
Or
We've said that word enough times here, addressing the vernaculars.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, the man that raised me my entire life is black. And the things that he taught me was that growing up, he grew up in Compton, and he's got German in his family tree, which is, he's very, very light-skinned.
Yeah.
And in just the 70s alone, he would actually get more grief and more misery from the African-American community than he would whites.
No kidding.
Yeah, well, that's his own personal experience, but I'm just saying...
How many people actually can share the same experience?
I'm sure there's a lot. But it's not... You can't blame the community. You can't blame the people.
No.
Everything that's the worst case scenario in history that's ever happened to other people has been pushed in their face for years. And now that people are starting to call the other side, you have younger youth that are saying, I'm not going to be angry for things that didn't happen to me. I'm not going to hate people that weren't guilty of the crime.
Yeah.
And they're actually being heckled for it. And we've seen cases now. In fact, there's a video real popular on Facebook where it's showing the young white boy who put out a video of being bullied. And later it's revealed that his mom's a Confederate flag waver and all, the hate stuff.
Seen it.
Which, yeah. Then they could it directly to a Muslim girl or a Middle Eastern. I don't know for sure she's Muslim. Who was beaten down by a couple white girls. Actually, I think it's like 3 or 4. And even though there's multiple cultures of people around that are all having the same reaction, they're hanging on their phones and they're trying to get videos up because that's the culture we've created.
Yep.
And the guy making the video tries to make it like it was considered okay that these girls beat this girl and weren't charged with a hate crime because of the color of their skin, rather than the fact that it had nothing to do with the girl's race. It was kids bullying kids, which is bad enough, let alone trying to stack onto it for political propaganda.
Yeah.
However, the guy who made the video made damn sure not to use the much more apt comparison of the 3 African youths who kidnapped the white special ed kid, tortured him with knives, put the entire video on Facebook, the entire time yelling racial slurs. The judge in the case not only let the female assailant off with no jail time, she was not charged with a hate crime, even though her entire attack was completely racially motivated.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that the comparison?
Because it's very biased.
And then because it brings a certain narrative.
Yeah, it has to be biased because otherwise it doesn't suit the agenda. If you're going to make a certain group of people the victim and another group of people the villain, you have to keep the consensus, even if the alleged victim does something bad. You have to turn the other cheek. You have to look the other way. Because it doesn't fit the program.
Yeah. Even as kids, though, we were raised, 2 wrongs don't make it right. How many of us heard that as kids?
Beat into us.
We all did.
Yeah. But yet as adults, that wrong applies. That entire mentality of being a good person, letting the anger go, and letting yourself find peace by not holding on to the anger goes right out the window as soon as what? You're old enough to vote?
Yeah. You know, the last time I thought, judge a person by the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
And that's what we're still told it is. However, if you look at it, there's only one group of people that can't say they're proud of their heritage. There's one particular group of people that seems to be pretty much the blame for everyone's misery, if you listen to the propaganda.
Yeah.
There seems to be one people that is perfectly fine for stand-up comedian, TV shows, and even variety shows to racially profile, even to the point where I believe it's considered racially insensitive for white actors to paint themselves to look black because it's considered racist. That didn't stop Dave Chappelle from painting himself to look white and wear a blonde wig to disparage an entire race of people by making stereotypes of the negative nature.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg did it in some movie. I believe it was called Meet the Blacks.
White Chicks.
White Chicks is another prime example. That was considered okay. You look at how many comedians get in trouble the minute they make a joke based in race, whether it's a huge fallout or just a little bump in their career. But yet you've got an entire series of black comedians who made a lot of money mocking or portraying an entire race of people strictly for the negative. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against humor, and personally I find it funny. I'm just saying it's the hypocrisy of the double standard that we've become used to with people.
Yep.
That says it's okay to laugh at it over here, but if people that over here whereby become so angry it's okay to beat them in the street.
Yep. That's the narrative of the world we live in, and you pretty much hit the nail on the head. And unfortunately, I think it's a two-front battle here. Because one, it is what you have indicated, but it's also with the double standard, it's pissing off the other side, going, "Hey, what the actual fuck?" Which is causing even more contention and just creating more static and
that's the
fueling the fire.
In the same way that white people all across America were pretty much told, I can't say all across America, mostly in the South, during the Civil Rights Movement, it was blatantly okay to violently oppose people's rights to people if you were white. There's no denying that level of ignorance and hatred, especially in our history.
Yeah.
Our history as Americans, we live in this country, we should know the evils of this country.
Yep.
but to justify actions now based on history. I believe it was Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin said that it's important to remember the actions of the past, and I'm paraphrasing here. It's important to remember the actions of the past to learn from them and grow wiser for your life in the future. But to stick to the rules of the past and hold on to history as to make it the controlling factor of today is to give up the call to wisdom altogether.
To not grow is to remain a child.
Yeah. You can't say that you're trying to fix the problems of history and then tear down the statues that represent that history. And I understand these people were hate mongers or they were evil for whatever their actions were. Remember, in their time in life, in their day, they thought they were right. War itself is an acronym. WAR.
Yeah.
We are right.
Yep. You know, I've never even thought of it that way. That's a good acronym right there.
You know where I got that?
Shoot.
A damn children's TV show.
No
They
kidding.
put out, remember that show, Dinosaurs? There's an episode where the herbivores go against the meat eaters. And they had no word for the conflict. So they came up with the term, we are right, WAR. That's a children's show. Somebody tried to point that out to us as children. Now look where we're at today. We completely missed it.
No
Not
shit.
the mama, not the mama, not the mama.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
We're
it's
too
all
caught up
because-
in not the mama, and we didn't catch the truly important aspects.
Yeah. Well, you look at it like you were saying before, how everything that's going on now is going to create an entire generation of basically pissed off white kids. The same shit we saw. Sorry, language.
Go ahead.
The same stuff we saw in the 50s and before, where it was perfectly okay because you were angry at life and somebody else looked different. It was okay to attack them in the street.
Yeah.
And we saw an entire group in the youth to start educate themselves, and they made themselves peace. They begged the adults for peace. We saw that all through the 60s. And now those people's voices start getting heard. Once you are fighting for something for so long, even if you achieve it or start achieving the right way to where you're on the path, maybe it's not perfect yet, but you're actually achieving something. But you're not fighting anymore. You will miss the battle, and you will find a way to see your enemy everywhere. Which is why, even once people started to conform, once they decided that, I don't know how old everyone is. If you grew up in the 80s like me, you remember where it was considered not peace to call someone black. That was racist. You weren't allowed to call them, for a while it was Afro-American. The term changed so much because people were looking for a way to refer to an entire group of people instead of just calling them people. Everything became about, we're going to find unity by separating everybody. Everything became about your minority group. Everything became about the color of your skin, meaning how much you had a right to be offended.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to be insensitive. People have a right to be offended. Legit offended, though.
Yeah.
A tree, because it doesn't match your religion, isn't offensive. It's annoying. I describe most people as a Christian. Now I don't claim any one religion is right. I claim they're all good ideas. But we were raised to always say Merry Christmas to the 80s. After a while, that was considered offensive.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the terminology, but rather the meaning behind it. When you're wishing someone well through the holidays, that's the purpose of the message. Not whether or not you're saying, Happy Ramadan or Merry Kwanzaa or whatever the term might be. I don't know. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever your personal preference is, I don't care what you say to me. The idea is you're expressing good wishes to me, someone you don't know. And yet, people are more concerned with the word.
Yeah. They're too concerned with the word rather than the meaning of the gesture. Gesture. Yeah.
Well, you figure that,
Gesture.
no matter what time frame you look at as far as in the history of the United States, Youth have always been youth. They look for something to rebel against. They feel they're angered because life isn't fair. And it's really how they grew up and how many adversities they face that decides how they see the world.
Yeah.
So you have entire generations that are slowly being made to deal with less and less and less of the real world. In fact, to this point, you've got kids that have their own cell phones before they're in high school.
Yeah.
And then we can't understand why there's more kidnappings. We have kids that are allowed to go out and hang out with their friends who have a way more adult mind frame because they're watching so-called cartoons like Family Guy, American Dad, which don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, your kids can't watch it. I'm not the parent, that's up to you. But the message that they're pushing is people with this ideology are the problem. All Christians are repressed and angry and somehow stupid. Which, I mean, there's actually quite a few scientists who create a lot of our theories we're still trying to prove that we're Christian.
Yeah.
So if there's scientists believing in God, why shit on everyone else?
Because that's not the popular narrative. In fact, I actually read a story earlier today. Let me bring it up. It's on my Facebook wall. Josh, you guys, you may have actually seen this on my wall.
Before you get to that, let me finish this thought.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I lose track. But getting back to your thing on how everything's a circle, and I know I've been making it a little long-winded. My point is that you look at the way one segment of society was told to be angry and violent in the 50s. When they start pushing against that idea, they switch to the other side. And we're already seeing where now there's, once again, rebelling against the idea of hate. So once that becomes the majority, we're going to see the entire militant side of politics switch parties again. It just depends on which side feels they're the most justified in their anger. And it's that circle that keeps our government fighting us than actually noticing that each president builds more and more control of the government off each other. We fight more and more wars in places that have financial gain rather than moral gain. We fight more and more with law enforcement authority figures in our own cities and states because very slowly our rights are being stripped away. Like, I'm sorry, bro, I can't remember your name.
Who, me?
No.
I was going to say, you've known me for years. You can't remember my name. I got to break this bottle over your head. This will be...
beanie, glasses, beard?
That would be Jared, Grandmaster Evan.
Okay, thank you. I'm really bad with names. I'll remember face in a heartbeat, but names are really bad with. I apologize.
It's a man, cool. That's cool, man. No problem.
It's all about keeping us fighting each other than noticing what they're doing.
Yep.
So it's that circle of, man. If we can. One of the things I try to push, at least in myself, is the idea of personal evolution. You're going to be a fuck up every day.
Yep.
Each day you wake up, try to be just a little less. See the things you want to see in this world, try to be it. See the things that you don't like in other people, and don't be a hypocrite. If people are more concerned with that and less concerned with their opinion being absolute truth and right, we grow a lot faster.
Did we not cover the headphones earlier today?
We did. I'm the only one who's not covered with headphones, as you can see, but for obvious reasons.
I'm gonna slap you with my dick if you don't put headphones in your fucking ears, bro. Oh man.
I don't know, Genevieve might get jealous.
No, I'll let her do it.
At least you know something to expect.
Wow, we've gone from a serious political discussion to being dick slapped.
Yes.
What
but
the
no,
hell?
I can't handle it. I hear everything. I hear the echo go 4 times through your shit.
Well, unfortunately, I actually have to have the speakers on because otherwise the mic's not going to pick it up and you're going to have no audio for the repost.
Yeah, well, your mom.
Yeah, well, if you can figure out a better way to do it, I'm all ears. And the way you're smiling, you're probably drunker than I am.
No, not yet, but I'm working on it.
By the way, Josh, this is our friend Connor from up in Canada.
What's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
And my work hubby.
Yeah.
All right, keep going, keep going. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole.
Carry on, Josh, please.
So let's go
I'm
back.
still slapping off my dick, though.
I think it's more for you than him.
Let's see here.
That's not a no.
Kurt says, do I have a choice to join?
Yeah, I know he's had that problem. I've been trying to add him several times, and it's just not working out. He's fucked.
So he's just not working out. We're just going to have to send him home.
He's stuck in the river Styx.
The rivers is... Wow, he's fucking bad.
Yeah.
All right, no, keep going. Keep going. This
Yeah,
shit
keep
was
going,
more
Josh. You
important than I
had a
walked
good
in.
thought going there, and then we got into dick slapping. So please continue on with what you were saying there.
I am here.
Holy shit!
I don't know.
All right,
He's in?
he's in. Please, Josh,
Everyone do
continue.
it? All right. Well, no, I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of circling around, man. Because it's one of those things that it's small to talk about, but each factor of it is a much bigger, broad view. It's kind of like icons on a computer screen. Every time you click on one, it expands to something so much bigger.
There's a plethora of information in a little itty-bitty file.
Well, yeah, every issue is just like that. Because you can't just say people don't have a right to be mad about racism in America, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
So the problem is both sides only want to talk about the part that affects them. And while you've got the youth that are becoming more and more exposed to political things, but don't have the presence of mind to know to what degree to take everything. Because, you know, as we see more and more about the people fighting against the white racism in America, we're seeing more and more youth outlashing, thinking that they're fighting against something when they're really just lashing out. There's a video of the little girl, she's probably about 2, and an entire group of African American kids ranging from probably about 3 to 5, 6 are absolutely just torturing the poor child over being friends. They're taking things she's offering friendship, they're throwing it to the ground.
Yeah.
And it's what's
Josh,
up?
can you do me a favor?
Yo.
I really want to hear what you're saying because I'm picking up pieces of it.
Fair enough.
The lag and the echo fucking sucks, but it can be beaten. Can you, I know it's going to sound stupid, can you say 4 words at a time and count to 1? And then keep going? It's going to, in my ears and maybe everybody else's ears, I don't know, but it's going to go fluid. Because your last word is masking your first word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can try.
Cool. Keep going.
Can you hear better? I get a lot of echoes.
I wish I knew why it echoed. I mean,
Better yet, bro? Cam?
I try to turn on my camera.
Now it sounds like everyone's echoing.
it's more echoey.
Yeah, like everyone's doing it now.
Yeah. I don't know why it does it. Has it done that before when we've done past roundtables? Because we've always done it the
It's
same
usually
way.
one person's mic, and everyone's voice is going through their speakers, hitting their mic, and getting like a reverb loop.
He knows what I'm talking about. The fact is, we just can't beat it.
Yeah.
I keep turning my mic off.
It's actually a really fun experiment. You take 2 cell phones and flip them where the ears and the mouthpiece come together and make a single sound. After a while, you'll just get like a bat sound.
Yeah.
And it's rather annoying.
I've actually seen somebody do that before in order to transfer a call to somebody that they can talk to while one party was in jail.
Dude, I don't slap people in the face with my dick because it's fun, okay? It's because it's annoying.
But why does it gotta be my face with your dick, man?
They'll pay to see it, I promise.
This entire conversation's degraded.
Yeah, here Josh was trying to be
Talking about-
PC all this time, and you're talking about Mr. Giggles being PC and kid-friendly, and then you pop on with, hey, I'm gonna freaking slap Chris in the face with my dick.
Fuck being PC. Fuck your safe space. Like Milo, I cannot pronounce that fucker's last name.
No, but I was part of the architecture of Mr. Giggles being the bridge in the gap. So when he said it, I had to agree because a piece of that was me, right? But he could be a
I like being offensive.
Yeah, he could be a sadistic fuck with a kid that he rescued. That's cool.
I rescued kids? What the fuck? Fuck the what?
When you find the right one, you'll know.
Are we still looking for a blue waffle?
Well, maybe, but go find Kyle Reese.
Kyle Reese.
My father, bro. This shit doesn't work if he doesn't meet my mom.
I found him!
Condoms.
I'm a douchebag.
So, John is right.
About?
In a sense about
Okay, what part of
the Kyle Reese part.
Kyle Reese?
Because
we just really dove into the fandom here, and I think I'm way too drunk for this shit.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of.
This is exactly your territory. I brought you there on purpose. We've both been drinking too much.
Yeah.
Fucking New Year's.
You're on Terminator fandom now?
Apparently, you know, I think we've gone from incorporating varied elements into
Big
what we
Slab
do to full on. We are John Connor. We are the Resistance. Battle of the Machines. And I walk out of the base naked, going, "We're gonna fight the Mexican."
Yeah.
Those be the machines? Yeah, that one.
I'm not really like.
Yeah, I had to have
Let's go.
offended somebody with that one. I had to have offended somebody with that one. I can't go a single night without offending somebody, right?
Well, you got at least one person. Come on, offend one person.
Yep.
We did the vegans last night, and not in a good way.
Yeah, my chili, man. Yeah, too bad we didn't have Matt Sinister on. That would have been a freaking hoot and a holler, right, Josh?
Jesus, I leave the house for 1 minute, and now the TV is off the wall.
Wow.
Right.
Everybody keeps getting booted. My screen has changed direction so many different times. It's ridiculous. Where do we want to go with this now? I know Josh, he's only got like 40 minutes till he has to leave for work.
Actually, man, I gotta be going right now.
It's no problem. Thank you for popping on, man. This has been a great discussion. I hope we can get things worked out better technically and have a more in-depth, more of a roundabout exchange to where everybody's not getting bumped off systematically.
Yeah, I'm always down for conversations, man. It's just it degraded fast.
Yeah.
It went from a conversation to dick slaps, and that's where you lose me.
Yeah. We kind of went off the rails at dick slaps. You know, people have been falling off the wagon periodically, and Connor just came in with a freaking tricycle and hit us with a dick slap and knocked over our wagon.
So before I got crude and rude and inappropriate, what was the topic though?
I'll let them fill you in. I pretty much said my piece. Yeah, no. Anytime you guys are doing this, you guys want my opinion or hear me blabber on.
Well, we generally do this Sunday nights around 6 o'clock your time, but we're doing it a night early tonight because tomorrow's New Year's Eve and all that fun stuff. So nobody's really going to be available, and nobody really wants to do this kind of stuff on off day.
Nobody wants to drink with me.
All right, guys.
Hey, I'll drink anytime.
See you later, man.
Talk to you later.
Take care, man. Have a good night at work. Good to see you again.
All right, man. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Take care. So, gentlemen, where do we want to go with this?
Yeah. I'll spit it up.
Well, I wanted to add a few things before he left.
Well, let's continue on. I mean, just because he's not here doesn't mean we can't continue on with the discussion. I'm going to try to get Genevieve back on. Maybe get her to do something besides suck on a candy cane and look pretty.
That's true. I agree.
No, we can't Mars.
Well, I was going to add that my friend and I were having a discussion a couple months ago
shit like that
on how there's a difference between my generation and his generation on how he grew up.
Late for supper?
And
sorry, I got the conversations on the go.
In this era, it's completely different from when I was growing up. From what he was telling me. And I'll tell him that even though it's a different era, it's the same bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, different, same bullshit, different mask. And who just popped on?
Yeah.
Would that be Genevieve? Or who popped on?
That was Genevieve.
Genevieve is back. Okay. Okay. Josh is gone. He's going to work. So it's just the five of us now. We would like to have heard more from you, Genevieve. This leader of the resistance, quietly watching us while sucking on a candy cane, thinking God knows what. Like, I'm gonna kill all these motherfuckers. I want a cigarette, but it's too cold outside, so I'm sucking on this candy cane.
Catherine
That actually was
sitting in the corner with a machine gun.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt. She like, talk, motherfuckers. Talk. Talk or I'm pulling the trigger.
No,
I'm the boss. We better talk.
Honestly, what I was thinking was, I was like, I really want a freaking cigarette, but I can't go outside because it's like -3.
I called it! I called it! Fuck, I really want a cigarette, so fuck this, I'm sucking on a candy cane.
Okay, until you can have a cigarette in a bathing suit where you're from, you can't come to Canada.
Yeah,
that just means you need to get her some extra clothes, a big-ass jacket. Like, as soon as she gets off the airplane, here's the giant fur jacket.
Hey, I'll go outside.
Clothes I give her.
Hey, I'm training myself, man. I'll freaking go outside and take out the trash at 1:30 in the morning in my fucking underwear. At fucking like 15 degrees temperature.
Where do you live?
I live in Tennessee. It's been getting down to the freaking 20s and teens. Nowhere near as cold as where you guys are at, but still a lot colder than California. That's for sure.
The conference call international.
I'll go in a jacuzzi when it's cold out.
Oh yeah, who wouldn't go in a jacuzzi when it's cold out? Unless the jacuzzi was off and it was ice cold.
I don't care, I get to do ice cold.
Guys.
Après le voyage de Nouvelle-Écosse à Montréal.
What up?
I got the good news.
You got some good news?
Good news, everyone.
What's up?
I went on my first date last night.
I like good news.
It went smoothly.
Oh, wow. Right. Hey. Bravo, man. Bravo.
Oh, shit. Did you get laid last night?
No. That's not. That's for later down the road.
That's third date, my friend. That is third date. He was on first date last night. He probably. How far did you get? Did you get a good night kiss?
Yes, I did.
All right. Yeah. My man.
We went to Denny's. We had a freaking meal, and I had a cup of coffee. they went well. We talked, we laughed, and it was awesome.
Beautiful, 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 man. I am so happy for you, man. Love is a beautiful thing. I hope I find it someday.
And I'll be seeing her again.
I'm so happy for you, man. You've been through a lot of shit, jumped through a lot of hurdles to get to this point, man. You've earned it.
Because the six guys are my anonymous family. I wanted to tell you guys this. You guys know it went well. It was awesome. It was a great time.
And, hey, just don't pull a conspiracy anonymous and freak the fuck out if I show up at your wedding. Hey, he gave me his address. He gave me his address, and he knew that I was moving across the country. He had to figure. I live freaking 40 minutes from him. He knew I was gonna stop in eventually and say hello, and shake his hand.
Well, you're like, I think maybe 8 hours from me.
Yeah. Well, still, you know, I'd still come and visit you. Shit, 8 hours. Take some vacation time once I get a new car. I'll come up and see you. Shake your hand, have a beer with you.
You having a beer, I'll smoke my pipe.
I'll smoke a pipe with you, motherfucker.
Fuck yeah, I'll definitely share.
Because I gotta cut it short here tonight.
Yeah, well, I think we pretty much covered as much as we can cover. So, do we want to call it a night? Just, you know, talk amongst ourselves? Or
yeah, pretty much. Politics is a very simple topic.
I already ruined it all, so.
That all just was like audio mumble jumbo in my brain. It probably came out clear on the tape, but I'm like, alcohol on my brain said, beep.
To cover.
Ow.
You okay?
That's my back.
Might need your back popped. Maybe get a massage, get those knots out.
I am going to
I had the
go
money.
my glass again.
You're gonna go blow glass again? What?
I'm going to go refill my glass.
Oh, I thought you said you were gonna go blow glass. Like, what are you, a glass blower now? You make me a fucking goblet or something, like a medieval goblet.
All right, bro. I will see if anybody is here whenever I do come back.
All right.
You'll be back.
Yeah. Do we want to continue with this or call it a night? Or what?
I want to call it a night.
We'll call it a night. Grandmaster, I know you want to go. I'm drunk. So we'll call it a night. Who wants to call it? Connor, Genevieve. Who wants to close it out? Connor, you haven't closed out in a while. Do you want to close it out?
Sure.
Shoot, close it out, my friend. Ooh, excuse me.
Just help me out here. What were we talking about before I started slapping people with inappropriate appendages?
Well, before we got into dick slapping and completely derailed our wagon, pretty much what Josh was discussing was the official New World Order divide and conquer narrative. You know, why people are acting a particular way, why there's so much contention in society, and how it's pretty much been the same agenda throughout the generations, just different masks. You know, like we have different politicians for different eras. We have different issues. It's the same bullshit, just a different mask.
Okay.
And that's pretty much where I think he was going with it. Again, I drank like half a case of beer in this evening, so I'm like,
it's new era, but it's new era, but the same bullshit.
Same bullshit, painted different color.
Yeah.
Did you go downstairs and grab those?
Yeah.
Did you go grab those downstairs? Anyway, keep going.
That was pretty much it. Like we discussed pretty much what we already know is the idea that the left and the right are controlled by higher powers behind the curtain, and that everything has been orchestrated and designed all these conflicts, whether wars, civil issues, legal issues, everything is all propagated and designed and has been executed incrementally, and we're just pawns playing our part.
I have returned.
He has
Yeah,
returned.
there's a member of your church that covered that. His name was Hubie Nibley. They stopped him from talking because he was getting too deep. But he walked into a priesthood meeting and he opened it with, "Look at us, brethren, gathered together as a priesthood under the false cloth."
Look at us together and what?
Look at us, brethren, as we gather together as a priesthood under the false cloth. And I shit you not, he opened that top like that. The guy
No
is deeper
shit.
than even me. Yeah, he's deeper than even me. He, for lack of a better word, what I've gathered, and I can be wrong, he's the Mormon Alex Jones. He's the Mormon Hitler. He's the Mormon Jesus. He don't like Zionism, and he has a hard way of explaining it to the world.
Do you have that particular talk on file? I mean, I'm sure you probably do somewhere, considering you referenced it.
Just go to YouTube. They're all on YouTube. The church makes sure that they are, dude.
I figured that wouldn't be on the talk, considering, they cut him off.
Because of what was said?
Yeah.
No, they stopped him from talking, but they didn't cut off that talk. He just wasn't allowed to talk anymore later in the future.
Okay.
Check him out, man. Hubie Nibley, as in to nibble something.
Okay, hold on. Let me write this down. Hubie Nibley.
Yep. Most of his talks are in black and white. He's that kind of old.
Okay, and what was the topic?
Doesn't matter. Pick one. He's going to fry your fucking brain anyway.
Yeah, type that name in the group chat.
The church advises against researching him.
Well, then I have to.
Yeah, he goes into the Nephilim. He goes into the Book of Enoch. He goes in all of it.
Please, somebody type that name into the chat.
But you have to know what you're hearing. Because he knows that the information that he's giving is, quote unquote, not supposed to be given.
Yeah.
But if you understand what you're listening to, you'll go to every talk. Because you're gonna hear and listen. The church's foundation was simple. What men called God and what men called aliens, Joseph Smith was not prepared to say that they were different.
There you go. It's right there on the chat.
Awesome.
That's what made them.
I just got excommunicated.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, that works.
Then again, my being an alcoholic probably didn't help things much.
Who?
Me.
Smith?
No, me being
you're fine.
member of the church and sitting here drinking a beer every time I'm on camera. Yeah, that probably didn't help matters much.
You got excommunicated?
Hey.
No.
Hey, bro.
I'm saying I just got excommunicated because I shared that, and for the reasons I shared that.
Oh, no, you can't because they put it out there themselves. You're just sharing the gospel, brother.
Yep. Truth is truth.
They would prefer you share other people's gospel, but that guy is still part of it.
Yep.
It was the high priest that gave me that info about him.
Hubie Nibley, wasn't he Quorum of the 12? Is it he's?
I don't know if it was 12 or if it was 70, but at that point, even if he was part of the one below the 70, he speaks with power. That's all it is.
I'll have to check him out.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna rewind his shit a lot.
I wish I had more freaking downtime, man. I've only got like 2 days left on my vacation. But
well, that's 48 hours. Utilize them properly.
Oh yeah. Well, Connor, do you want to go ahead and close this bitch out?
Sure.
Close it out, my
For
brother.
all of those, motherfucker, I'm so smart with my dick. I cut into my fucking clothes, maybe. All right. For all of those that are hearing this, you are a part of the resistance. Thank you for listening to us, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a happy new year.